Welcome to another edition of Reflections. We are very pleased today to introduce Barbara Broudo, the archivist at Endicott College. Barbara, welcome.
Thank you. I'm glad to be part of the program.
Barbara, my recollection is you grew up in Marblehead.
I did.
How did you?
Not truly a Marbleheader. I was not born in the Mary Alley Hospital, but I grew up in Marblehead. Graduated from Marblehead High.
And where'd you go after that?
I went to Mass College of Art
Okay.
in Boston. Majored in fashion design.
Okay.
Worked in Boston for a while before I came out here.
And you were hired by David in the art department?
I was hired by David. I debated whether or not to take the contract. And from his point of view, it was touch and go, but I did. And I have been here ever since.
Well, that year that you joined the art department with David Broudo, who was eventually going to be your husband?
That's correct.
What year are we talking?
1963.
Okay.
So I've been affiliated with Endicott. I think this would be my 54th year.
That's a long time, Barbara.
It is a lifetime of good memories.
And you've seen a lot of changes.
Oh, yes. Where we're sitting right now was all ledge and woods.
Yep.
There was no library, no academic center. It was an undeveloped, small college that really have potential, and we've seen it. I've seen this campus grow, change, mature to what it is today.
And you went co-ed, of course, after a number of years.
1994,
Yeah.
we went co-ed. We went 4 years. We did a 2+2 for a few years, where they would get their associate's degree, and then they could stay for another 2 years to get their bachelor's degree. But they really, they went full baccalaureate, I think in 92, started master programs in 96, and this past May, they awarded the very first PhD doctorate students their degrees.
Well, Endicott always had a orientation towards business. And I remember David talking about the internship these kids would get in Boston and New York and stuff. Is that still happening?
Even more so. We have the experiential learning, so it encompasses all forms of the learning process with the internship. You have, and we're worldwide. We have campuses all over. Students have phenomenal experiences, and with the senior students, their first semester is a full semester internship or placement. And a lot of them, I would say the greater percentage of them, wind up with a full-time position as a result of
That's
that
terrific.
wonderful
That's
experience.
Terrific. Wow.
So I've seen it grow from a small
2-year girls' school.
2-year, yes, women's college, to what it is today.
David told me 2,500?
We have, yes, I would say we have about 2,500, give or take, undergraduate students, and we have about 2,500 graduate students, professional studies students, and that's across the world.
Wow.
Online, even on a Coast Guard cutter. I mean, it's really remarkable.
Now, you
the
started
changes.
as an archivist after you retired as an art professor, right?
That's right. I
Now,
taught
what-
in the art
What
department.
year did you become archivist?
I started in 2000.
Okay. So,
And at that point, I went to Dr. Wiley and I said, you know, you really have not done anything in terms of preserving the history of the college. And you really need to have a college archives. You've got some files here and you've got some files there.
right,
And he said, yes, go for it.
good.
So that's how it came about.
You were working at the Wenham Museum.
I was working at the Wenham Museum, yes. I was working as, what do you call it? Manager, business manager, costume curator.
Yep.
But I came back here, yes. And so my first task was to get everything in one location. I found things in boxes in garages, file cabinets, in basements, you name it, that's where I found it. In the old safe in the bottom of Tupper Manor, where they had kept their silver, there were boxes and files. I mean, I just had everywhere I went. And they pulled it all together in one place. And it ultimately took, first go around, about 7 years to go through, and it had been pawed through. You know, people had gone through things. So there was no order. I had to make order out of chaos.
Well, we're going to take a few minutes and go into the archives and have you show us some of the stuff that was in the basement
I will.
and boxes or whatever.
I will, and I'll explain what I've done. Well, we've come into the archive gallery, and we have been in this location since '02. It was a brand new space, and since then we have done about 24 different exhibits. We do 2 exhibits a year, and each one starts at the beginning of a semester. So in the fall, we will have one for the new students coming in, and it's up during the whole semester, and faculty will have projects, and students will come in to do some primary research. And then we take it down in end of December, and in January, when the internship is in progress, we put in and install the spring exhibit. This particular exhibit will be coming out next week.
Oh,
and
good. So we got it.
you got it.
Yeah.
And come September 1st, there will be an exhibit that will look at the Endicott College athletics of the last 5 years.
Well, Barbara, I'm impressed with the natural light with the glass on the side, and then you have the interior lighting for the room, and you have plenty of space.
I have a lot of space.
And just to inform people on the program, watching the program, this is just to the right of the entrance to the library. You come up the stairs, the library's here with the tables and the stacks, and then you're just to the right of it.
Yes.
So you're very, very visible, if you know what I mean.
You can't miss us.
Yeah.
And also over the door, we've got a great big sign that says archives
saw
and
that.
museum. We're not going to miss that.
Yeah.
I make sure that the campus knows about the archives. We also, I have promos of what the archives have, the mission statement,
Sure.
we put out bookmarks, anything to engage the students and guests on campus.
This is the inner sanctum, Barbara.
Yes, this is the inner sanctum.
Wow, I'm impressed.
This covers really the heart of the history of the college. And as I had said, it had taken about 7 years to go through all the original papers. Now we have it so that if I get a call from someone on campus or even outside of the campus, as far away as Canada, I can locate what they are looking for.
You have a lot of photographs, I assume.
Well, I have, here are the photographs, all numbered. Every photograph that we have
Isn't it?
is in an archival sleeve. Here's a photograph of a group of students who were in an early honor society.
It's a great picture.
And I can basically tell you where this photograph was taken, when it was taken,
Who took the picture?
why it was taken, and it has its own cataloging number. And then I then digitize them, and it goes into a museum software, Past Perfect. So everything has been digitally cataloged.
Terrific.
The documents that I digitize are the newspapers, annual reports, major things. But broadsheets, correspondence, I don't do that, but I know where everything is.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. So for instance, here is all of the buildings on campus.
The one you were talking about.
Yes, yes, because the college owns 8 estates, whether it's the carriage house or the carriage house and the main building. And they've all been preserved for current use.
Yeah, right.
They're not preserved for conservation, just in order. So they've been revamped so that they can be used today. But I did find, we did an exhibit on the families who owned these estates, and we did an exhibit, and it was really one of the most successful
Good for you.
exhibits that we had done.
Good for you.
Each exhibit that we do has a theme
Yeah.
of Endicott, and we've never really duplicated an exhibit.
I'm that way.
I mean, they're just
That's good,
wonderful.
though.
Yes. So we have a whole.
8 estates, huh? I'm going to have a photographer shoot this photograph, and you can point out some of the estates.
All right, this photograph is 1964. Way up, sort of up on the left where the big oval, that was the Bryce Allen estate, which is now the Tupper
Good for you.
Manor. All right.
And that's a track for horses or something.
Well, they
Kind of looks that way. Yeah.
It was their front lawn at that point,
Right.
and the building
Yeah.
to that upper right had been their stable, which is now the Van Loan graduate.
Well, now the Wiley place where tourists
That's
stay.
all of it is now.
Yeah.
That's
Explain
all.
that for a minute.
They took what had been a dorm, Ebinger, and they took the Bierko Auditorium Gym, and is now the meeting place, Tupper Hall, which is now Tupper Manor, and they made that into a conference center, which is called the Wiley Conference Center. As we go down the road, down Hale Street, our administrative building, College Hall, is at this little, right in here. That's College Hall. That was owned by William Gardner. And then we have Mistlewood right here.
That's what I'm asking about.
Mistlewood was owned by the Agassiz family, inherited by the grandson by the name of Felton, and the college purchased it in '03 from Felton. So we are really the first non-family to own that property.
That's quite a spot, isn't it?
Oh, yes. This here was the first building the college acquired, and that's Reynolds Hall, and that had been a private girls' school, Kendall Hall School for Girls.
And the water here is what we were sitting on outside.
That's right.
And that was put in, that was dug out.
Back in 1960, they had a long-range planning, and they wanted the campus to ring around, and in order to do that, they had to dredge all of the swamp. Now, we couldn't do that.
I know, Barbara, I know.
We couldn't do that, so it was all drained. So that's a man-made lake.
Yeah.
Yes, 1960.
The benefit of the people watching the program, this is Beverly Beach?
This is
Wiley's house.
Mingo Beach.
Okay.
That's
okay.
Mingo. Dr. Wiley now lives up here, off this map.
Yeah.
Patch Beach,
Right.
down behind Tupper.
This is Prince Street coming in?
Brackenberry.
Brackenberry, okay.
Brackenberry. Prince Street is right in.
Oh, I see it
here.
now. Yeah, yeah. So this is Curtis Point.
That's Curtis Point.
And
yes.
yeah, right.
Yeah. But that photograph was done back in around 1960, 64. So, well, I can tell you, it had to be done in 64 because this building was built and there was no academic center. So they hadn't completed the ring around the campus.
Barbara, where did all the money come from to build all the buildings?
At the early part of the college, when it was a 2-year under Eleanor Tupper and George Bierko, everything was paid for. Well, you know, the family
Yeah.
provided a lot of it, and you know, now it's a different era, and funding of building is a lot different.
And Wiley's been able to raise a lot of money.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. I mean, there has been constant building
Oh,
on
absolutely.
this campus
Absolutely.
every year, I think since about 1999. Every year. So they will open what is going to be the new residence hall, Frady's Hall, in September.
Where is that?
Across from Mistlewood.
Okay.
It had been a big parking lot, and
Okay.
and
And Landmark is next door to you, but
that's right.
is not really related in any way.
No, no. With the exception of in 1984, Endicott sold some property to them at that end of campus.
Okay.
And there were 4 buildings that they purchased. So that the boundaries are right, literally, next to each other.
Do you have problems with traffic and parking?
I think every place, not just us, but I think every place has a problem with parking and traffic.
Well-
and they do a good job here trying to alleviate. But yes, we have parking.
Well, you're really on a very windy ocean road, you know.
That's right. Yes. And
Beautiful
Yes.
road. 127 is a beautiful
it's
road.
gorgeous. I mean, and I keep thinking, how did that look back in 1900?
Oh, God, yes.
You know, it was like a dirt road, which would have been wonderful. So,
Well, Barbara, I want to thank you for spending time with us.
oh well, it's a labor of love. So, I really enjoy this.
Well,
and
History has a way of doing that.
yes, it does. Yes,
Well, thank you very much. And
you're welcome.
people can look forward to some more film and another program. Thank you very much.